Hi everyone, Irina here. Welcome and thank you for joining me in this yoga practice where we're going to focus on the upper body. In particular, we'll be opening through the chest area, working on the shoulders and working on stretching the neck area, the front and the back of the neck. I invite you to take a cross-legged seated position. Let's close the gaze. And just notice the way the body feels today, bringing your attention into the throat, into the chest, into the shoulders, to the upper back. Just stay here for a moment, focusing and bringing certain intentions to the practice. Very gently, we're gonna bring the right hand over the left ear, and we're gonna press into the ear and encourage the stretch of the left side, and trying to bring the right ear closer to the shoulder, to the right shoulder, but not the opposite. So making sure that your shoulder is down and you're pressing into the left ear. And let's change into the other side. Again, you don't need to use too much force, just an inquiry here. You'll feel the sensation alongside of the right side this time. And bringing head back into the center. Let's make a movements with the chin, so the chin can go up, the chin can go down, and close the gap between the collarbone. And then let's bring the gaze towards the left side and bringing the gaze and the neck and rotation of the head towards the opposite side and back into the center. Chin up, chin down to the center, look towards the left and look towards the right. Back into the center, chin up, chin down, maybe even pressing with the chin towards the chest, back into the center, twist towards the left with the gaze to follow, and twist towards the right and back into the center. Let's lift both of our arms and then perhaps clasping your elbows, just having a few breaths here and noticing the sensations in your shoulder blades, and then bringing your left arm behind the back and trying to clasp your fingers and finding that bind. So keeping your chest still open, trying to not to round through the back, and rolling your shoulders back, and then changing the position of the hands and the arms. If you're finding that you're struggling to find the clasp, perhaps using a strap, a towel, or something, a belt that you can hold on to, and feeling those pulling sensations alongside of the upper arm. And then bringing your hands back into the center, and let's roll the shoulders, making those circular movements. And you can bring your gaze slightly down, so looking forward and slightly towards the ground. And then let's change the rotation to the other side. And back into the center, right arm up. stretching through the right, so left hand goes onto the floor, and we're looking towards the top right corner. So twist in the neck, lateral stretch of the right side of the body, and then the same on the opposite side. Again, allowing that inquisitive twist in the neck, and back into the center. Let's get through cat-cows. So making sure that you're bringing yourself into the all four, tucking the toes or extending through the ankles, entirely up to you here. Inhaling, let's go into the arching of the back, looking up. Exhaling, rounding, pressing the mat away and looking at the navel. Inhaling, trying to look up, stretch to the throat. Exhale, rounding, look at the navel. And a few rounds in your own pace. If you want to go slightly faster, or perhaps you want even to pose here on the end of your cat. And then bring that movement back into the body and pose perhaps at the end of the cow, bringing your shoulders back, looking up. And a few more rounds. Just notice all those sensations that are happening in the back, in the shoulders, in your arms. You're pressing with the hands, noticing how navel draws in, and then how we stretch through the throat, stretch through the sternum, the chest, the belly, and back into the center. Walk your arms forward, coming into the puppy pose, and here paying really attention in your sensations of the hands and the arms. If you start finding that you have a tingling sensation in your fingertips, perhaps you want to take the arms wider, because the tingling sensation sometimes can be an indication of the trapped nerve, and we don't want to harm the body during the practice. So adjusting your arms accordingly. So here you can use your chin and maybe tug the chin. In this position you may feel more intense sensations in the upper body. If those sensations perhaps too intense, maybe forehead on the floor and changing the position. Keep the breath going. And then back into the all four. Let's get into the twist. So with your left arm forward, finding the length, we're going to drop the left shoulder. And here, if you do need maybe to support yourself, putting the chin on or the cheek on the block. So using anything that is available to you, appropriate bricks, blocks, or maybe sometimes even the books, just to support you here. Position of your right arm. Well, you can stretch it forward, but if you want to go a bit further into the opening of your right shoulder, arm goes up behind, so we are getting here outside rotation of the right shoulder. And breathing, looking up, twist in the neck, and then let's do the other side. So this time, right arm forward, stretch, 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 stretch. Then with that lengthening, we're dropping the shoulder and bringing the right cheek onto the floor. You can press with the ear or with the cheek. And again, if you want to bring your opposite arm up and behind you, you'll feel the sensation in the upper body. There is a twist, and we're breathing deep breaths. Okay, back into the center. All four. Tuck the toes, lift the knees. Press into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's lift the right leg up, look forward, step forward, rotate your right foot in simultaneously, bring yourself to the side of the mat. Your stand is quite large, so quite a bit of a distance, about a length of the leg between your feet. Inhale, halfway lift, and perhaps finding your hips with your hands, rolling the shoulders back. If that's too much, then just bring your hands to the floor and have a supported version of Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. You can do it both ways, either the hands staying on the hips or supporting, but we want to lengthen through the spine. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, very gently come up, especially with the lower blood pressure problems. Making sure you're coming out of the pose really slowly. Rotate your right foot out. Extend through the arms. Inhale, reach forward. And bringing your right hand to the ankle, to inside of the shin. Perhaps fingers can press into the mat. And we are encouraging opening of the chest, lateral stretch of the left side of the body, and twist. Remember, we are bringing those certain intentions into the practice where we're focusing our attention onto the opening through the chest, working on the shoulders and manipulating that energy in the neck. So twist, turns, everything that stresses and stretches the neck joints. Exhale, look down. Inhale, come up. Gently, slowly pivot. And you are on the left side, Utthita Trikonasana, onto the left. On the inhale, reach forward. And on the exhale, bringing the hand down to the ankle. If you use the block, you can position your hand on the block inside. Could be outside of your left foot. Remember that twist in the neck. For those who want to do traditional Ashtanga, Utthita Trikonasana, big toe to be hooked by middle and index finger. Exhale, look down. Bring your hand down. Rotate towards the center. Rotate your feet slightly in. Again, we are in a wide stand here. Inhale, let's bring the hands behind you. Roll the shoulders behind. And on the exhale, we're going to fold forward and bringing your hands up and away from the body. And deep breath here. Again, if that's too much could be on your hips, too much could be on the upper body. Maybe you would need to use some of the blocks here to press into the hands, maybe bringing your shoulders behind and elevating a bit of that stress in the legs by having your weight pressed into the hands and into the arms. So that could be an option. Could be another option to position your crown of the head. So giving yourself that a third point where you can bring the weight and support the weight. And let's release the hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway left. We're going to rotate towards the right side. We're gonna plant the hands, step back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. From here, drop the knees, drag the chest, the chin, and coming into Bhujangasana. Your hands under the shoulders, press gently into the mat, frame the body with the elbows, roll the shoulders back, and ensuring that you're engaging your glutes, your legs are very strong. And again, we're assisting here our lumbar, our lower back by engaging the quads, the glutes. And then you may want to have a stretch of the neck, look up. And exhale, release, and press into Balasana, the child's pose. Rounding through the back, rounding through the neck. Again, position of your arms here. You can stretch them forward if you want to focus your attention into opening through the upper body. If you want to maybe take them slightly wider and release that pressure from the upper shoulders, or perhaps you want just to have your hands and arms alongside the legs. And deep breaths. Making sure you're breathing into the hips, allowing the weight of the body to sink in. And then peel the forehead off the floor. Release the legs to the side. And coming into fish pose, Matsyasana. So we're going to position ourselves fully flat onto the mat. Position your arms under the body. So raise the body and then shift your arms. Your hands, palms are facing down, stretching the legs. And then we're gonna bend the elbows. We're gonna lift the chest. And then we're perhaps going to arch through the neck. And trying to bring the crown of the head closer to the floor. You can close the gaze if you wish. For some of you, you may want to choose to look forward, especially if you do struggle with lower blood pressure and you start feeling dizzy in the certain poses. So it's important to adjust the practice accordingly. Don't think about how I look aesthetically in the pose. Feel the pose. What's happening in the body. And honor the body. Honor the limitation and restrictions of the body in this moment. Exhale, very gently release the weight of the body onto the floor. Release your arms and then bringing the knees towards the chest. Your lower back may lift slightly and you can curl up and maybe bringing the nose between your knees, just like hugging yourself and bringing yourself into the little ball. And from here, bringing the head to support by the floor, open up through the hips. Internal and external rotation of both of the hips, so we're changing that movement into the different direction, maybe a couple of times. And then bringing both of the knees together, let's drop the arms to the floor. You can take them quite wide or you can choose to bend the elbows. Let's bring the knees towards the right side and twist with the neck towards the left. Reclining twist pose, allowing the gravity to do the work for you. So trying not to hold the tension in the legs, so allowing them to be soft, so passive. Instead of activating your legs, allow them to be passive. Your knees are soft, your shins are soft, the thighs are soft. And then gently bringing the knees into the center and dropping to the other side and twisting with the neck towards the completely opposite side of the body. And bringing the knees back into the center. We're going to rock forward very gently. And then extending one of your legs, the left, the right, crossing so bending one of the knee, crossing over the extended leg, and then bringing the extended leg into the flexion. And we're going to twist. So the position of the twist will depend which side is your leg. So if you see the sole of your left foot towards the right buttocks, then we're going to turn towards the right. If the opposite, then you're twisting to the other side. So I always have this like a cheat sheet for me in this pose. And I use the foot as an indication. So this is an arrow for me where the twist must come to. So I can see the sole of my left foot pressing towards the right buttocks. So I know that the twist will come into the right hand side. And we're looking over the shoulder. And then gently untwist, counter twist to the other side, and the same on the opposite side. So at the moment my left leg is in flexion, I'm crossing over the right, so the right foot goes to the left, the heel to the left buttocks, and I know that I'm going to be going into the twist towards the left side. So the left arm goes up behind me. And with your right elbow, you're bringing it inside of your thigh. You can have it inside, you can have it outside. I find by pressing with the elbow into the thigh, that will give me a bit more leverage to press into and use my body as an assistant here to get into the further twist further. And back into the center and into the counter twist. Bringing yourself into the seated cross-legged position, Sukhasana. If you practice full lotus or half lotus, that bringing yourself into that asana. Closing your gaze. Your full attention goes inwards. Remember where the energy flows, where the attention goes. Just noticing the sensations in the throat, relaxing through the throat, bringing awareness into the shoulders, into the back of the neck, into the base of the skull at the back. Then shifting awareness into the face, relaxing through the face, softening the facial muscles, softening through the jaws, softening through the throat, relaxing the collarbones. The breath is no longer controlled, we're allowing it to return to its natural pace. Making sure that you have that heaviness in your arms, the hands are supported by the knees. And very gently open your gaze and bring your arms up above the head. Bring the hands together, lower it down, passing through the forehead, through the nose, through the chin, lowering down to the chest, and closing off this shoulder and neck practice with bowing forward. Namaste.